Oh, wait, hang on.
Okay, I'm here with my little friend.
Oh, are we? Oh, are we live, guys?
I think we're live. It said,
Okay. Oh, crap.
uh-oh.
Oh, wait, no, that was me. Oh, hi, everybody. Okay, somebody popped in over here. I'm trying to get my thing up. Well, welcome to Technical Difficulties 101 with...
We meant to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're meaning to do this. As I... Okay, oh, there we go.
Okay, this is going down. It's too hot.
Okay, we got Corn.
Hi, Corn.
Where's Corn?
I'm a little late on the theme. It's my Christmas jammies.
Oh.
We love your Christmas jammies.
I'm Ralphie from Christmas Story.
Yes.
We gotcha.
The booties.
I want quick hot chocolate now.
Well, I don't have hot chocolate, but
Don't stick your tongue out either.
I do have this.
Oh, Cartman.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So how's everybody doing? Hi, Style Audit. This is my first time meeting you.
Hi there. How are you?
Hi. Nice to meet you. Well, here. Not a bunny. I had to turn the fan on in here.
See, it's hot, right?
It gets hot. I'm 50. Hot flashes are real. So
We have Wendy in here. We don't talk about hot flashes.
that's all right. I think he got used to us.
True.
Are we expecting Helly today?
Yeah, well, I've got to, it's only letting me do 6 at a time because she's in.
Okay. Well, I can pop in and out at any time too.
Yeah, just throw any of us in and out.
Yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
How you doing, Juanita?
Okay. Wendy, I'm going to pop you out for a second and pop you back. Hopefully I don't mess this up. Oh, crap.
There we go.
Okay, Wendy, pop back in. That way I have you in on the stage because I think I took him completely out.
Oh, no.
Or wait. Oh, nope, I see him. Okay, nope, I see you. Oh, yay, I'm figuring this out. Okay, come on.
I'm here.
Again, this is all new for us, everybody.
It's only the second live, so I'm glad you're the one doing it. I don't have any idea how to do any of this stuff.
No, she's good.
Yes.
I'm figuring it out, okay?
And
The
now
hostess with the mostest.
Exactly. We're glad everybody is here. Oops.
Hi, Mini Minion.
Hey, Mini Minion.
Fuzzy pink handcuffs. Yeah, we threw them out already.
We had to throw him out.
So, hey, so Dip and Helly, you know, the glitter art pictures that I gave you guys. So I got some new ones for Christmas and they're really little. So I'm able to sit here and do them. But check this out. It's a mushroom coaster. Yeah. That's one that's done. And then this one's done.
Juanita still can't hear anybody.
Ooh, Fuzzy. Oh, hey, Chi.
Hey, G.
Hey.
And then there's like 5 more to
See
do.
the chat on our screen.
Yeah, I can't see chat.
You just press down below there's a middle button that says chat. Are you
Well,
on your
doesn't it
phone
take you-
or computer?
No, now I'm on the computer.
No, I'm on a phone.
Okay, on the computer.
I'm on the phone, but I have everybody on the TV. Beside.
Yeah, it shows everybody for me. I think you just have to go where it says live chat.
Yep, on the left-hand side.
Yeah.
Rika, I have such
Rika.
a story for you, Rika.
Hey.
I'm
I'm
on the
gonna count on you
StreamYard.
guys to shout out the
Yeah.
chat because whenever I try to go to it, it takes me to a different page. So
Because like when I go on my phone, because I have my phone up, and then like if you go to the bottom where it says live chat, then it should show you. Oh, hang on. Where am I going?
But see,
I don't know,
you
this
don't
is all
see
free.
anything. I'm on my computer now,
Yeah.
so I don't have anything that says live chat.
Oh, style.
Yeah, I'd
I'm
rather
on my
just stay here.
computer. I'm on my computer too.
Is there a way of making this full screen? No, not really.
Well, leave it down below. Usually where you see comments, there should be something that says chat.
I just see mute, camera, settings, preset, leave
Oh.
studio.
While you guys are figuring that out, I need to tell Rika a story I just found out about, and it's super strange.
All right.
Okay,
Her-
tell us.
I heard that her husband is a tattoo artist out in Portland. So I called my son and I was talking to him today. And her husband actually did a tattoo on my son and my daughter-in-law.
Oh, so just by coincidence, like small world type stuff.
Small world kind of thing. Yes.
Wow.
He did a daruma on my son and he did a kokeshi doll on my daughter-in-law. But
Oh,
Whoa.
he had no idea that happened. Yeah, hell, exactly. Wow, it's a small world. Yes. So I had to tell her that story. I was looking for it before.
Oh, I have something I could show you guys while we figure this out. Okay.
Oh, we should bring Wendy back in.
Yeah,
No,
we got to.
knock me out.
okay. Wendy, I'm adding you in. Okay, there we go.
Howdy, y'all. That's a riot.
That's funny.
Okay, that's all. He's adorable.
You have all the cool toys.
Oh yeah. Well, I go to Big Lots and they sell all these things and I'll set every one of them off. And so I pick one out that I really like, but I'll take videos of the rest of them so that I can like show people how funny they were. So
Nice.
and then I have a
Hey,
corn doll
never in
from a
from
concert I
PA.
went to. So Paul, you were gone for a while. Your trip looks like it was pretty amazing.
It was. I really, I had a great time. If they come in tonight, I don't want to disclose who was helping me out, but when I was in South Africa, I had somebody take me around to the Pretoria and Joburg organizations. So I was able to see their main Pretoria, which is a newer property. It was closed up. It was private. All the gates were closed. There, it's right below the Union Buildings, which is a kind of a center piece of Pretoria. And then we headed over to, I think we've heard of this before, but there's a place called Kyalami Castle, and that's what's ASHO, the Advanced St. Hill organization. So South Africa is the continental capital of Scientology, like Denmark is for Europe and California is for North America.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
And so we saw the CLO as well, so the Continental Liaison Office, and that's not on a map, but they do have it advertised on the street. So if you go past their driveway, you can see that it's the CLO. And then we were able to capture a bus transferring a bunch of uniformed Sea Org or staff. That would be Sea Org, because remember, that would be a Class 12 organization. That we saw them as we were going to the castle. They were coming from the castle.
I
over the
cannot hear
CLO.
Wendy.
Oh,
No?
can anybody else hear me or
No.
no?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
can hear
we
you.
all hear you.
What do
Okay.
you maybe go back out and come back in?
Okay.
So Wendy, do their,
Oh,
do
what's
their
a
uniforms
class
look the
12?
same?
Yeah, what's a class 12?
So Clearwater and Pack Base are Class 12s.
Oh, okay.
So that's really where and by the way, this is just through recollection of all the second gens and all of that, the class 12s are really where you take the OT classes. You can't take an OT class in Chicago. You can only take an OT class either in California or in Los Angeles. I'm sorry, either in Los Angeles or in Clearwater. Just like in South Africa, you could only really take it at the Joburg or Kyalami Castle.
Okay, Juanita, I'm gonna pop you back in and we'll see if your mic works.
So
I hear it
somebody
in the
is somebody's
background.
also watching the channel, so make sure you've got the channel muted in the background.
Hey, Dip,
Yes, can
Yeah.
you still hear me?
Pop
I'm
me
trying
back.
to make sure I've got all that right.
pop me out and bring Nana back in because I
Okay,
need to go
perfect.
take a little break for a second.
Okay. Nana, you're coming back in.
The other thing that is somewhat interesting about South Africa. So South Africa was always a place where L. Ron Hubbard tried to exert a lot of influence. He was in good graces with the government for a very long period of time, and then the government kind of saw that he was trying to manipulate them. So the government he fell out of favor with the South African political powers, and then went to, at that point it would have been Rhodesia, but we would call it Zimbabwe today. So he went up to Rhodesia to try to create, or Zimbabwe to try to create a little bit of clout. But in South Africa, and again, no place is there hundreds of thousands of Scientologists, but in South Africa, it is kind of a big deal. And one of the reasons that they're nationally well known is the South African rand is rather depressed. So many Americans will go there to take their class 5 or their OT classes at a big discount, right? Because the dollar, or the South African rand is not as strong as the dollar is.
Makes sense.
Well, it's interesting, like that kind of stuff. You don't, I don't know, you don't think about that kind of stuff.
Yeah. You're right. Well, how sophisticated and how financially savvy are Scientologists? If you think about the big donors, right, they have enough smart people around them that help them make educated decisions or smarter financial decisions than some of the folks would have out there. So yeah, they're probably getting guidance that way, but also just out of need. That you're right. What do we? I think it's $12,000. No, it's $5,000 for that 12 and a half hour cycle that you can buy here in the States. Not a lot of people have $5,000 sitting around, but if you were in South Africa, that might only be $500.
So is it still? Oh, now we can't hear.
Oh,
Yeah, now we can.
Wait, can you hear?
I can
So-
hear everybody.
I can hear everybody.
So Wendy, is the OT level they get worth less too?
They're all worth quite the same. Zero. So, Kat, I was there. I've got family in South Africa, so we were there visiting family, and it just so happened that many of them live in the Joburg, Pretoria area. So we spent some time there, and then we spent time in the coast. And where we were at vacationing, there really isn't Scientology near there. So Cape Town is another place that has some Scientology orgs, but we weren't really that close to Cape Town.
I guess.
Like I'm proud. I will say, like right now, like on a different subject, like I'm proud of myself, like trying to figure this out.
You're doing great.
But the funny thing is I forget the laptop I'm using isn't touchscreen, so I keep trying to touch it and it's not working, and then I'm like, crap, it's not a touch one, it's the wrong one. I'm making it work. I'm trying to make it rain glitter. People, come on. I'm proud of myself.
You're doing awesome.
You know, I mean, well, I'm on a 2-week break, okay? So my brain is
Had a 2-week
not
break.
good.
Good.
Thank you, Christmas break. Oh, thanks.
It's a whole new meaning when you're a teacher.
Yeah.
Yes. We'll try to be good
Actually,
students.
it really is.
The other thing, well, besides Scientology, South Africa is an amazing place, and I would encourage anybody, if you can get there, get there. It's a long and expensive plane ride to get there, but once you get there, it's really affordable for the American dollar. So, yep, I am back in Chicago, and I will be here. I will probably be gone by the end of January, but I still will have business here in Chicago. So probably every other month I'll be back here for business reasons, and I'll still be close enough to the org that I can say hi to them. I can go over and help them close their blinds.
Yeah.
That is the one thing I will say. I love making them close their blinds because
Yep.
Yes, that's the fun part.
that's the fun part.
Yeah, if we think about it, we do have all the power. Just before we came on, we've been noticing that Scientology has become more brazen. That historically, if you were to ask a question of a Scientologist, they will ignore you. They'll put their phone up to their ear. They'll put headphones in. They just have never had any tendency to confront us to this point. And this past, what was it, Friday that we were out there, Never In?
Yeah.
On Friday, we were out there and a couple had come out, and it was Survival Rundown, which I remembered it as I was walking back to work. They were out there. What we think they were doing was Survival Rundown, but they came up and confront is a strange. They tried to have a conversation with us. They were very clever, and I don't answer questions, and so apparently they're really good First Amendment auditors too.
He got really close to us too, though. That was surprising. You know, he came pretty close.
Which, if we think about that, Nora and many Scientologists have told us, right? I think Tori would tell you the same thing. That is their tactic. They want to get as close to you as possible, so that if they needed to, they could do a Fosbury flop or whatever in that situation. Right. So yeah, I would say I was surprised. I've been out of, since I was away for basically a month. I would say that I'm not on my game. I forgot the questions to ask. I forgot some of the things to say. I didn't remember Survival Rundown. So I was a little bit taken aback or surprised when we actually had engagement.
Right.
And you said that Mike, I assume it was Mike, maybe it was Allie, who was saying they're experiencing similar in Kansas City right now.
You're right. Matt in LA, and so did DOA today.
They did the same thing with Juanita.
Yeah.
Several times.
2 different days. They did. Yep. 2 different days.
And just standing right out in front with all their pamphlets and smiling.
They even gave it one to me.
Yeah. Me, I beg for pamphlets. I never get one.
Did Miss Cabbage get any?
We can ask her.
Yeah.
One of the things that I thought was amazing just before I left, so I hadn't left yet, but Korn and I think Neverin and Helly were out there.
Yeah.
And one day you guys must have collected 40 pieces of literature. There was a big pile of literature that I saw there.
Corn and Dip, I think, right? Or
No, it was Corn and Helly. They found them on the cars, remember? Because it was all in the front of the cars.
Right.
Okay.
They were flyering the cars. That's why
it was the one old guy that did it.
That's illegal, actually.
Exactly.
So,
that's illegal. Exactly. That's illegal.
But we haven't seen it since, because when we went a couple of weeks ago, we didn't see any. We were looking, and even the one before that, when we went, we didn't see them.
Right.
It was just that one time that we've seen them do flyer the cars like that.
Well,
have you guys go ahead.
Nothing. So
Wendy, so do you think that the man who had those was supposed to be passing them out to people, but he just got lazy and put them on the cars? Or did they do that a lot, do you think?
Well, it's always historically, it's always been a good idea to do that. That was a cheap, free, easy way to get flyers out. Now, I don't know if they count it the same in their stats, and I would say it would be silly of the person to have thought they could have cheated the system that way. The idea of thinking they're getting credit for handing out flyers.
That's what I was wondering,
There.
like if he thought that would be his stats or whatever,
Yeah. What I would definitely say that the next, and you haven't seen it since, but if we ever do see it again, make sure that you're taking good video of the flyers on the cars.
We did.
And
Corn made sure we did that. Yeah.
And report it.
Yep. Yeah. Make sure that you're either it's 311 or the building services. There's several places that we can report that.
Okay.
Right.
The other one, have you seen anybody, Kat, Trashy and SRA. I miss them a lot too. I think that some people have checked into Trashy's streams. I haven't seen SRA do a stream, but Trashy has been doing car streams again.
Yeah.
And I think that he's kind of hinted that, I'll come back.
I was gonna say, we had heard that. I don't remember where we had heard it, but that he was talking about coming back. And I mean, the more people that we have there, the better, even if it's not an everyday thing, but just, I mean, you always went out.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're really going to miss you.
The another question I'll have, while I was away, did you guys see the sandwich boards out at all?
No.
We looked. Yeah, we did.
No, they didn't have them out.
Because that's another one I think it's, I haven't seen it in a while, but that's another one that it's important that we report that because they're not paying a fee.
Yeah. Exactly.
I don't think they have a license and they need to have a permit to have.
Permit.
Yeah.
Because you have to pay a lot for that. I'm sure Paisans pays for theirs and then the other shop a little ways down. So I saw it on your stream, Wendy, and that was awesome. When you saw them with that sandwich board out there and then they quickly grabbed it. It was an event. And then you were like, take that inside.
Let me help you not get in trouble. And I want to say 100% with what Corin said. If I wish that I could engage people as well as Trashy did. Trashy oftentimes got people to talk to him, or he would talk to them in such a non-confrontational way that they wouldn't necessarily run away or cower away from him. He was somebody that I just loved his voice, and that many of the earliest publics that we ever got caught on conversations was principally because of him. So, and I'm sure we're all going to get better at it over time, but it's absolutely, Kat.
Yeah, like MD does.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's what we've been trying, the non-confrontational.
We just stay in our bubble and we give them their space. And
yep. Yeah.
Just once in a while. Just once in a while, I need to remind them that they're in the call, but I don't do it as often like I used to.
Yeah.
That's where the protest comes in, because otherwise you're just standing with a camera. But if you do have a message or you do have a reason to be there, that's what makes a protest.
Yeah.
And that's a legitimate way for people to speak to power.
Correct.
And also talking to passersby, not just the Scientologists, but the students and all the other people too.
Yeah, the neighbors. The neighbors are the ones that.
Yeah, if we think about it, there's probably 10, 12, 15, 20 different fronts. One is to challenge and to try to help educate or open the eyes, wake up the staff members. But it's warn the neighbors, warn the students, help people understand what they've gotten, unveil the deceptive marketing that they're receiving. So there are many of us just carry different banners in this particular process in regards to how we go about this, right? That The chalk, right? When I see chalk and signs, that stops people, right? People get curious and they look at it. And once they stop and look, then we can kind of engage them in the conversation as to, hey, this is what this organization is all about.
Right. Well, that's why even the blow up things, you know, the Kenny, I mean, they have no way of going up against that. I mean, there's no win for them on stuff. You know, we've got the audience. So
Yep.
I agree.
And that can be seen at such a distance. It's going to catch anyone's attention, whether they care about, you know, protesting Scientology or whatever. You know, it's a popular way.
And it brings people in to hear your message just because they want to know, why are you there?
right.
Exactly.
Or take
Exactly.
with Kenny.
Right.
But yeah, 100%. They don't want, like, nobody wants you to get screamed at or anything like that. That's overwhelming. Like, I don't want that. You know, when you go somewhere and somebody screams at you, who wants that?
Right.
Nobody does.
Exactly.
Right. Well, I recently had a 5-minute conversation with a public. I'll name her Olga. She's the one with frizzy hair from the Lit Fest, who speaks with an accent, who was body routing with the older lady with gray hair. I'm sure Wendy and Nana and maybe Audit remember her, the frizzy haired one. But when she came out of the org, I said, "Oh, hi, I remember you." And then as she went over more by the college, by that planter, we had the planter between us. She was willing to stand there and talk while hiding behind the tree. And I looked at my live and we talked for 5 minutes.
Nice.
Oh, the parade was awesome. That was just unbelievable. I'm rolling that float down the street was just
Oh goodness.
hilarious. I mean,
dragging our limp balloon.
oh my gosh, you know, and so many of them out there, you know, it was just amazing. No, that was just great.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't want to. There's some questions about Trashy kind of coming through. Trashy. So one thing is, Trashy's channel is about BMWs and fixing BMWs, and I'll say engines in general. He's very mechanical. He's a very clever guy. And during the summer, car shows occur, and I think that it was just that he was going back to his passion. It wasn't that he didn't want to do Scientology anymore or anything of that nature. I think that he just moved back towards his passion in that space. Now, I do hope that he gets re-inspired or reignited here. And yeah, it was always fun to see him and SRA. They were there, 3 times a week, I think we would see them. And they would come, they have a commitment, just like, the Corn has a commitment when she comes down here. Helly's got a commitment when Dip's got a commitment when they come here. So it's not, I can go there for 45 minutes and it wasn't a burden on my transportation. You guys are spending 4, 5, 6 hours out there more often than not. And that's the same thing with I remember when Trashy and SRA would be down there, it would be from 5 o'clock until close.
Oh, yeah. Right. Midnight.
Right.
Because it takes an hour to get in.
Yeah.
Kind of hard to spend an hour on the train and then stay out there for an hour and a half and then leave. Oh, it
can take all day to, it can take all day.
Yeah.
To go and come and do what you're going to do.
Style Audit, what plans do you have for getting out there? Say, are you going to wait until March or, with this weather, or are you going to try to get out if it's nice?
Well, I'm going to try, and, it'll depend upon real life and it'll depend upon weather a lot because,
I know,
and, if we're not going to be on the street due to bad weather or cold, neither are any other people too. Okay. So that's one consolation. But I want to learn this desktop thing because I want to do podcasts and share some of my ideas. So
great. Do you think I'm sure you'll go to the anniversary of the building opening in March, the first weekend of March.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I can't miss it,
It's
right?
party weekend.
We'll see you there.
Yeah, we talked about going for the weekend. And because we don't see him doing anything that Monday, but maybe like that weekend.
Right, not the 3rd. Like we'd get there Saturday. They'll probably have something on Sunday. Do you think,
Yeah.
Wendy? Okay. I think they'll have it on Sunday.
Who knows, what their plan.
Dip, let corn in. Kick me out and let corn in.
Okay.
Switch it up.
It's a volleyball
Just
court.
switch up.
Serve.
Next.
I only did volleyball for a hot minute. Okay.
I was hiding.
Woo! There you go.
I was having fun texting, chatting.
Yeah,
Nice.
we see you chatting.
Hey, I figured it out.
Yeah.
did
Hey, at
get
least you had time to figure it out.
I got a new phone for Christmas too, so
Good.
yay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool new camera, so maybe I'll be able to get even better pictures. So
Nice. I really like, so I still wear the body cam, but I had that 360 on and I was able to reframe. I haven't posted them yet, but I'm able to reframe conversations because one of my weaknesses was whenever I'm talking to somebody, I'm actually talking face to face with them and I forget to put the camera in their face. So oftentimes you'll hear the conversation, but you won't see them. Now that I've got the 360 camera after the fact, I can actually put the people that I'm talking to on the camera. So
that's better though, because people, they don't, I mean, think about it. If it was you don't speak as well if you think a bunch of people are listening. Whereas if you're having a one-on-one conversation, even though they are listening, they're not looking at you, you know?
Yeah. And yeah, Peter, I know. I just like when I hear that it's the idle org. And when we were there Friday, we did see 4 people eventually come out, but when I first got there was only the administrator at the desk, nobody else on the ground floor, and one person had bundled up their coat and walked out. So that was it's really strange how this Chicago org kind of ebbs and flows. There are times where we see kind of I would say a surge of new faces, new people. And it's like, where are all these people coming from? And how are we so ineffective? How are we letting all these people get in? And then there's this past week, right, where we didn't see anybody in there. And there's some faces that I expect to see there that we haven't seen.
No.
Mhm.
They switched out a few people.
Yeah.
Right.
It's kind of nice to keep cults kind of one step behind and kind of not really knowing whether someone's going to come or if they're going to come, so they don't like get super comfortable and start new plans and projects. I think so. Anytime anyone can pop in, it's great. It's good.
And that's what's great about whenever we get together, because we literally never know what we're doing.
No, we never have a plan.
We talked about this. The only plan is what time will you all be in one particular spot to figure out what the plan is. So, yeah. Like our train gets here at this time, and then we all get together, put our brains together, see what ideas we have or what's going on in the city, or if the COS has an event that day, like whenever. Ooh, Wendy, did you catch when we found that event that Rudy or Ruddy or whatever Rodriguez we were talking about? Yeah. They did have a sandwich board for that.
Okay.
I forgot about that.
But that was an event they probably had, whatever. I don't know. I don't know what they do for stuff like that. But there was a guy outside holding his sign that the event was for her there.
Yeah. And that's legit. As long as it's not on the ground, it's absolutely legit. There's a couple.
He closed up as soon as we got there anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Afraid of us.
And I do think that's funny when they kind of cower so quickly. I do. Yeah. There's a couple. Kat had put in there. On opening day, it was exciting. I would say, I wasn't here for opening day, and I'd been planned to be out of town. I was so impressed by how many people showed up. And I'll say that while they might not be the most active right now, there were people there that had done a lot of planning, had done a lot of work to get there. We had an awful lot of stuff on camera. It was loosely organized in regards to what's going on. But the number, I expected, what did we see? Maybe 4 protesters before the opening. When on opening day, there had to have been 20 people with cameras out there.
Yeah, not more.
There was a lot.
And many more without cameras too.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, if you think about it, we had such a short notice that
Right.
it was going to occur, because maybe people were tuning in down to Austin. Oh, here's this anticipation. This other new org is going to open, and it's going to open on this day at this time, right? And then everyone here, I think, interested in Chicago was thinking to themselves, just like Trashy did, and just like all the rest of us did, hey, I wonder if anything like that is happening in Chicago.
Yeah.
And it was really a matter of weeks before, and wasn't it something that was found in the trash, or maybe I don't remember exactly.
Actually, Shannon was able to secure one of the invites. It looked like one of their flyers. I still have it.
Right. And it's like, hey, this is happening, but it's happening right away.
Yeah.
Right.
It was
Right.
like 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then organically, it just kind of.
Check it out.
Yeah.
Because of Pearl, too. I mean, everybody watched Pearl take down Davey Miscavige.
Right.
And everybody wanted to
It's
be
the
Pearl.
opening invite.
Nice. Yeah. So that came out. I think that she found that somebody at Kansas City helped Shannon out with that.
Right.
The other one, I remember that before that flyer showed up, because I was in that area so much and knew where that org was, I was seeing an awful lot of activity. I was seeing a lot of people, young people in uniforms, walking into and out of that org. And I kept on saying, I'm pretty sure this is going to open. No, it's months away. And it's like, there's an awful lot of activity, and it's ramping up rather drastically. So.
Well, even in that first time that we went, you remember we met in Lakeview.
Yep.
And it was you and me and Trashy and Shannon, and we took the train to check out that building. That was my first day seeing that. And we stood across the street and we could see them, coming in and out. And I think we saw one of the police officers that day. I don't know if it was Dolan, but because I remember you guys telling me that you knew that they'd been safe pointing him, and you all knew way more about that at that time. I was super new to any information about Chicago, because like Style was saying, it really came out like maybe 2 weeks before we knew it was going to happen.
Yeah,
we knew the building was there and that they were playing the same game and everything, but they didn't want the public to know, it seems.
Cat building is empty. I think we figured out that it was not even owned by them. They were renting. But we had gone up there to look at it on that day, miraculously.
It was and we did not plan it. We were like, let's go.
Yep. So they were whoever owns it gutted the whole inside of it. So it's still for lease.
Yeah, Cat.
Yeah. Now,
because it has a giant for lease on it.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I'd be curious about is if it was like a shell kind of thing.
It might be. So remember that there might have been a wealthy Scientologist who actually owned it and rented it or leased it out. But I don't know if we can figure. We should be able to find out the property records.
I don't think that was the situation.
Okay.
Helly knew, because I think Helly looked into it.
Yeah. So in regards to the day we went down there before it opened up, when we walked on to Clark Street, there was actually a group of 5 officers, and they were a combination of police officers and city officials, probably things like permit authority or aldermen's, something of that nature. And yes, once we got fairly close to that, they did go inside, because they were in the middle of the street on Clark Street, and there was 4 or 5 of them talking. And as Shannon and Corn and I and Trashy walked down the street, they took that indoors fairly quickly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember watching that.
Interesting.
I got super excited the day that I first saw Trashy come out because, like you said, we were all watching Austin and LA, and so we were expecting it to be Chicago. So I remember the first night that I saw him come out there, I went and shouted him out in the other live streams that were going on in LA just to try to get, attention to, that finally we had a Chicago one. And at that time, different cities seemed like they were popping up all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that Dip is as grateful as I am that we don't have any in Indiana. So we'll keep traveling to Chicago or Michigan.
Well, and even like the Michigan one, when we went to Battle Creek, like they literally stayed in the building. We didn't see them come out. Like,
yeah,
we got them to shut the blinds.
Yeah, the tiny blinds.
They're little baby blinds, but I mean, other than that, like they didn't come out. And
I wonder what they were thinking of the inflatables when we came that day, though, because we were just kind of dancing in the street because it's really open there. It's not busy. It's completely different than Chicago.
No, it's completely like it's in a residential area. It's an old, you can tell it's an old medical building.
Yep.
See, that's what's different with Chicago is the fact that, got about 10 feet of room to be able to protest in, or
And to watch your back.
Yeah.
I was so surprised when I actually got to the point after all this watching to like get brave and go there. I was like, oh my God, it looks like there's miles of sidewalk and it's great big, and it's not. It's a small place.
Yeah.
To stand,
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why I like to go down in front of the parking garage sometimes too, though, because I can chalk a message down there and they're not going to bring a broom and a bucket all the way down the sidewalk. And so you still get the traffic, and it's not a business. It's just a parking garage.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and we want to not watch them, but we want to see how long it takes from the time we leave to the time they clean up. So we're trying to figure out a good place to go. I think we have a plan.
Maybe the alley might be our friend, the alley we got kicked out of.
We just want to be able to see how long it takes them to have somebody come out and start taking off the chalk.
Yep.
Because the one time we went and then we went back, you could tell they had just cleaned it off because it was wet. Like, it was fresh.
That's what's nice when we can go there, have a lunch break, come back. Because then we'll have a nice wet pavement to start out talking again.
Yep, it worked our favor.
And it sticks better, right? It's the second message is better than the first.
Yeah.
Peter, we have seen that quite a few times where whether it's Eventbrite or Facebook pages, we've seen several. I think we saw the Juneteenth on Eventbrite. Juneteenth, they had a Juneteenth celebration that was through Eventbrite, and we just have to keep up on that, right? And as much help as any of the people who are in all of our audiences can help us find those, it's very helpful. There are people that are, in my opinion, Michael Andreas. Bridge is somebody who's invaluable in looking stuff up for me, and I know that she shows up in a lot of your guys' channels as well.
Yep.
Amy's always in all the channels as well, and it's very helpful. The more that we know that, because many of us have, our only objective in life isn't to stop Scientology, right? We've got families to watch after. We've got some jobs, elements that we have to take care of. So it's very helpful to us when we get this additional information from others that are out there.
Yes.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
It makes a huge difference.
The boxes look really small, like, because it's hard for me to see you guys. Is there a way to remove the spotted background and make the pictures bigger?
Let me see.
You
I
need
don't
to
know
see
how
my head
hard it is
shinier.
for others watching if they're watching on a phone.
I was happy about one thing I was able to do. Oh,
Hey, there's Dip.
Okay, no, I don't want to be front and center. Whoa, hey. I can't do this. Okay, hang on. This is worse than the Brady Bunch. Okay.
Make it stop.
I'm trying. I'm
It's all right. We'll
nasty.
figure it out. I'm
We'll
sure
figure it out.
you can still
Yes.
hear us. You can hear us.
And I don't know, maybe later on this evening, but what I'll do, I'll try and do a class on this behind the scenes later on, so that we get a little bit better, more education on how this all works.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a terrible YouTuber. I literally go out there and like the fact that all you have to do is set up a camera and let it point.
That's a little better. Yeah.
That's better. Yeah.
Woo! If I had my pom poms, that would be perfect. I'm getting it.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Nice. So
So
Helly
we
asked
need
Helly asked the
who are we
question, right?
missing?
So Helly,
Ellie, what?
I can pop back out again if you guys like.
Or me?
Oh, me.
No, Juanita, you haven't talked yet, and I talked too much. So pop me
I
back
did.
out.
Okay.
I did earlier.
I'll be in the back.
so Helly had asked, and it's a common tactic that Scientologists would never come to a realization that of our own volition, we would be anti-Scientology, right? Because they believe that they're perfect, and that unless somebody was paying us,
Right.
there's no reason that we would be doing this, right? Now, it turns out that apparently the new news out in Los Angeles is, in fact, some people are being paid,
Yeah.
but nobody is paying, to my knowledge, nobody is paying anybody in Chicago.
no.
I know that
No.
there are benefactors, but there are no Scientologists or, let's say, rich anti-Scientologists who are paying Lara FM or Surge. They were in. They want to stand up out against it. The rest of us that were never ins, we are just. It's abhorrent to hear the stories of the second gens or the former Scientologists, and it's something that we always say, well, I can get behind rallying against that. It's not that big of a deal. So, but it's just unfathomable to a Scientologist to think that somebody would do this without getting money.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's the first question they always ask is,
Yeah.
who's paying you? Where are you getting paid from?
Yep.
Oh, I have another question for Wendy.
Well, they
Different
had to
topic.
ask that question because that's what they do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like the people when they're gonna accuse somebody, they accuse on their own guilty.
Yeah.
Projection.
their
Yeah.
own
The projection.
Projection.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, yeah. Another thing, Wendy, if you remember, I know we were talking
At least
about.
I could say that I did get gift from Scientology because I got an LP this year. I got it.
You did.
Yeah, right. I got a booklet. I got a ticket, to go in, but they don't let me in. And then the last one was to take the test. So if that's been bright, then I've been bright.
Very good.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
Helen?
I was just remembering about it was February or March when Trashy and SRA were out there and the police were called, and this is all on live. And the call was for, as they say, pew pew and boom boom. So it was a man inside the elevator in Scientology.
Look, my LP. I haven't even opened it yet.
Sorry, Juanita. You know that it was grave danger inside Scientology with those two weapons of destruction. So when the police
So
get
it's gonna
there-
be a new year. So why each one thing is gonna be happening?
Right.
I've been already
okay, she didn't.
been connecting myself to people outside of the state, but it's in regard to Scientology. I've been reaching. I still reach my senator, he answered me one time, but he didn't even address my question.
They never do.
But I still, once in a while, I continue to send stuff to him. And then I start doing it outside, like, for example, Chicago and El Salvador. So I've been trying to reach outside because I believe that the more people in the entire world be we give the information, and maybe that's what they need, a push to know, okay, what it's like us. I heard about Scientology, but I never pay attention to it. It's just from the beginning when I heard the word Scientology, Church of Scientology, it didn't feel right with me, but I never went out of my way to search to know what it was until this started coming out. Then I saw first, I think it was Natalie, the people from LA. Like I said the last time we had the panel, that what it did for me, beside the story of Natalie, and then after that was the Laura FM, when she got that encounter that she saw her father, and the way she trying to reach out from him, and he continued. I mean, that really broke my soul. That did it for me. And that's when I started then searching more. They said, oh, how about Chicago? Then I started searching. That's when I saw Trachi, I saw the channel, all these people that were going to the old one. And I said, man, I would like one day to go there and give, do something. So it wasn't long, when they said, oh, they're going to be opening in downtown, like, what? So that's when I got inspired me to do it. So the same way it happened to me, I know when we reach to other people in other places, it will do it too. We have to do this like in the ocean. You move the water gonna continue like a tsunami. We have to be a tsunami.
Yeah.
Tsunami, yeah.
Tsunami, yeah.
We have to.
Oh.
And I guess we're gonna get there. It just, as we learn how we do it, the way we approach them. And it's true, sometimes when we, you guys talk earlier, when we yell at somebody, put yourself in their shoes. Because somebody yell at me I'm a Christian. I consider myself Christian. And some people don't believe in God, well, and that's fine. That's your right. Imagine somebody yelling at me, say, oh, you're a Christian, this and that. Do I gonna feel comfortable? I won't care, because I'm mature about that. And because I understand that each individual in the world have the right to choose. If my belief would start cursing people, that's different story, because that would be wrong. So then I start kind of trying to switch the way I approach when I go downtown, because sometimes, for example, last Friday, I saw my favorite character, Spiky Boy, from far away.
You have
So
a
then I said,
favorite,
oh,
Juanita.
my friend is there. Wait a minute. Okay, in order to talk to you, because before that time, I remember when I went after a job that I was doing around that area, I didn't expect them to talk to me. And the guy that was there, whoever saw that live, he was talking to me. He even offered me the booklet about the bridge for total freedom. I said, I already have freedom. And we have a nice, he was very nice to me. So I didn't put my camera to him because I want her to feel like he could talk to me. He could talk to me. The same thing with the blue eye that I learned the name, thanks to Wendy, the real name. So they were doing different, and maybe that's the way I need to do. Then I'm not gonna be a threat to you. The thing about the lady this last time, which was amazing, she didn't answer my question, because when we approached me to give me the something that she was going to give me, she said, "Are you videotaping?" I said, "Yeah, I videotaping everybody and everything." And she said, "Well, can I ask you not to do it?" And I said, "Why?" I said, "Because it's disturbing then." And then I asked, how is disturbing you? But she didn't answer. She went back very smiley to the pamphlet she was giving me. And I thought that was like hilarious to me. Like, wait a minute, she didn't answer my question. I'm not bothering. I haven't even telling you in the call. So it was very interesting. So through all these past, I learned from my mistake, even though I don't think I have made that many, but I did learn. I had learned many new things. And I'm a person that I always say I'm a eternal student. I love to study. I love to learn. I love to. I mean, I, I remember for when the pandemic came out, I was taking courses left to right in Zoom, YouTube. I mean, whatever. I went to classes from different instruments because I like to learn. I hungry to be learning every day. I
Right.
don't see human beings stop learning in the life until we stop learning when we die or we drop the body like the Santos say. So I love to learn. So then that's where I turn to approach even other people from different other places.
Yep.
Oh, you know what?
Beautiful, Juanita.
Oh, very good, Juanita. I
Okay.
am. I
Haley,
also love to
somebody was
learn.
going to say something. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Haley?
What I was saying is, okay, so why would the police, when they
Oh,
get a
Nana, I
call
don't know.
about,
Somebody was going to say something and they
yeah,
stopped.
if they
Kelly
get a call about violent weapons, they arrive like a couple cars, no tactical gear, no
So why you
protection.
guys? I already said what I think about
It's a fucking
2025.
huge.
Why you guys think for 2025? What your expectation? In another word,
I
Yep.
think there's a delay or something.
Yeah,
Yeah. I just think that she can't, I think that she's not hearing what we're talking about.
no,
Okay.
oh,
audio has been off.
But you
most-
know what I'm saying, Wendy. They didn't
Yep.
warn the two men, to leave the area.
Right.
They didn't have any
I
protective
cannot hear
gear.
her.
They just walked in, and when they came out, two of them split up. And I watched both streams. One of them is very rude to SRA, and I believe, and then Teresh's talking to the other one. But all that they come out from this call about, that violence happening, and say, don't put, just to let you know, it's assault if you put your cameras in their face. So how do you reconcile? I mean, that makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah, it was odd. I would say that, their first response should have been to make sure that everybody was, if it was a threat,
Right.
why were they not making sure everybody was safe?
Right.
But then the second one, and by the way, they are 100% off base. It is not a threat. It is not an actionable act for us to have a camera. Now, when you say put a camera in somebody's face,
Which they weren't doing.
if I
Yeah.
reach my arm out and put it on your face, that's one thing. But if
Yeah.
you claim
No,
that
they
because
weren't.
I'm standing still and have a camera, that I have a camera in your face, that's a BS statement to be making, right?
Mhm.
I still love the Memorial Day element. I'm pretty sure it was Memorial Day, right? When the officer explained to me for 30 minutes that I'm not allowed to put my camera in somebody's face. He says, now I know you didn't do that. I've never seen you do it. And I said, great. Then why
Yeah,
you tell
it
me
was
about it?
similar to that. Yep.
And then later on that afternoon, that woman put the camera in my face. And I
That
said,
very day.
do you mean this activity? Is that what you don't want me to do, officer? Why aren't you doing anything about this? And when the police came back, it's like, oh no, that's perfectly legal. They're no problem. I don't see any crime there. So it's, again, there's a bias.
So why are they doing, like, why would
Money.
they go into a building? You know how police are with violence and that.
Mhm.
So they must have known it was why would they sacrifice their safety? They must have known it was fake.
Yeah, I do think that they take almost all of Scientology's complaints with a grain of salt, except in regards to the idea that they don't think the police do not come thinking they're in danger. But because Scientology safe points them in so many different ways, whether it's actual cash, whether it's quid pro quo, whether it's, the analogy I would always give is that, they sponsor a trophy in the Little League. And that's what makes the police officer feel good about that they come to Scientology's aid in those regards, right? So that's why the safe pointing element is this way of saying, hey, we're good people, and that's what makes the police rush in to help them out. But to your point, they knew they weren't in any danger, right?
Right.
You
So
know,
shouldn't they say, look, Scientology, you're wasting our time here?
No, because yes, they should. But the answer is yes, they should. The reason that they don't is there is a monetary and non-monetary reward for them to help Scientology.
Exactly.
And how do they explain this to people who live in Chicago and pay their salaries?
They can't, and not enough people know. So one of the reasons why I think the reason that we're out there is to try to get this more into the public eye. We do need to start getting newspapers and news stations to listen to us, and the work that like Fat Grammy and Haggis Basher, Audit LA. I know Audit LA doesn't really concern herself with Chicago, but her type of activity are
Right.
these ideas of constantly putting us in the public eye so that people are able to see this. Now, if the six of us are the only people that see the police doing something wrong, and any of our audiences, who most of our audience don't live in Chicago, what effect did that have on Chicago? What Chicago politician cares about that, right? Nobody, because nobody saw what occurred. Only the six of us plus our audience saw what was going on there.
I am doing your requests.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought of something else too. Let me see what I wrote down here.
Oh, Dip, while we have can you put in Josiah's link, please?
Yes. And
That we
then hey,
report-
Wendy, do we know Amy's question, the answer to that? Because she said, does Chicago have the CPAB? And are there any board members?
So
Have you heard?
I'm going to pass on that.
it's not CPAB. It's got a different name. And if Mona's still here, she's going to, So CAPS is one. COPA is another one. COPA is a civilian board, but COPA doesn't have any teeth. The way that COPA was citizens that were supposed to watch the police. And
Right.
I'm pretty sure it came into place underneath Emmanuel, Rahm Emanuel.
Right.
And that on the night before the commission was set up, he brought the leadership, he changed the leaders of what was going on in that space. So that while, yes, we did create a COPA or a citizens oversight committee, that they had no teeth because of a last minute change that Rahm Emanuel, and I'm sure that Rahm Emanuel did it at the persuasion of whoever the superintendent of police at that point in time would have been, right? The police have always, they want to always exclaim that fear tactic, right? That idea that, it's very dangerous. Hellfire and brimstone will rain down, chaos, weapons of mass destruction, and all of that fun stuff, unless you fund the police or let the police stand up and do these types of things.
Got it. Yeah. So another person that Nana brought up recently, and I had already read about, is Gwen Appleberry.
Right.
Have you looked into her much?
I've not, but is she the education person that was there on opening day?
Yes.
For the police department.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Because there were about 6 high-powered names, right? One of them was the Kwame.
The other one.
Yeah. One of them was an education, a high-ranking person in Chicago Public Schools. But I don't recognize that name that you just mentioned, but I do remember the day of.
Oh, okay.
I did look up who there was 5 or 6 speakers at the opening day.
Well, she has, extolled the virtues of Scientology, and she's known about it for 45 years, I think she said, Nana, in that article.
Yeah.
And what I found out was several years ago, and twice, regarding psychology and psychiatry, after the DSM-5 was released, the latest was released, and then there was some criticism, she introduced a bill for the city to comb through its entire municipal code to find references about psychiatry that were later deemed, false, or false tenets or something that were later questioned. And of course, it was never brought to the floor, but she introduced that twice.
Yeah. And these are dangerous things, right?
Yeah.
The idea that we're fortunate it didn't come to pass, but the idea that people wouldn't have thought that our election system would get to the point where it's at, or the two-party system get to the point where it's at. But if they keep on trying, eventually it does happen, right? So I do think it's important that we try to speak out or challenge, make sure the public is aware of some of the beliefs of these people who are political leaders or influence leaders in our community, and help them understand what this is. Because I think it's very dangerous when we allow people to, it's no different than the anti-vax. And listen, I understand that anti-vax is a polarization element, but the idea that, science says vaccinations are a rather helpful element. And I would say that scientific theory is something that we should base ourselves on. The same thing with psychiatric help, and the idea that chemically balancing somebody's brain who is in need is incredibly important in these places, and people shouldn't suffer in those situations. So I hate people that put forth these false tenets about the idea that psychiatry is crackpot science, or that you don't need drugs. All you need is to be a strong, sound person, and we've got self-help through the Dianetics book that'll fix this.
Ugh, yeah.
It's just dangerous, right?
Yep, very dangerous.
Yeah, very. We've seen what happens.
Mm-hmm.
And the Scientology people that Whitney Mills, Ellie Perkins, Lisa McPherson,
yeah.
right? This idea that she was in good hands because the doctors saw what happened to her after the car accident, right? She went, whether it was a mental break, however you want to describe it, something was wrong with her in the streets. People realized that. They brought her to the hospital. She was probably in good hands and would have probably come through this with, therapy and medication, except Scientology got their hands on her. They were able to talk her into, or help her to leave against medical advice. And 17 days later, she's no longer with us. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And the sad part is the Whitney Mills one is horrific. I won't say, but it's horrific. And it's the exact same thing that happened with the exact same doctor. And that kind of kills me, knowing that woman, maybe 40 years old, was tortured and tormented. I had seen the text messages with the doctor, months ago, and now they're kind of out more with the lawsuit. It's horrific.
Yep.
And
100%.
they always diagnose with Lyme disease, cancer, and these are false diagnoses that send people into a despair. You don't get rid of Lyme disease, and it can be detrimental physically.
Hey, Dip, you want to switch me with corn?
Yep, that'll work.
The other one,
You could switch me too,
I
so
like that. That's good.
Serving. Corn is serving now.
nice.
Let's hear what she has to say. It's been kind of quiet without corn.
Well, here's a great idea. Find someone who may be vulnerable to your approach because they like to be told what to do, because they're struggling within themselves with issues and knowing what to do at that moment. And then sign them up for a bunch of stuff where you just yell at them. What are your crimes? What did you do to pull us in? What's wrong with you? Did you not understand? That doesn't sound like in any kind of world that's ever going to come out with a good result.
Agreed.
Or trying to sit there and figure out what is so wrong with you that whatever is bringing you down, whatever has you in despair, how did you do that to yourself? How is that going to help me?
I cannot hear corn.
Yeah. And Corn, I assume your earlier statement was you can't self-help.
No, you can't in any way, Dianetics or otherwise. If you have a chemical imbalance, you're not self-helping that away.
Right.
Just like you're not self-helping away high blood pressure. You could diet it away. You can improve mental health with diet too. I don't understand all of that, but obviously good diet goes into everything, your sleep, your overall health. So I have always tried to say, at least within my circles personally, that you should treat mental health the same way that you do any other health, because your brain controls all those other organs that will go and get diagnoses for and take medicines for and talk about openly without shame. And then we talk about the brain and how we might, you know, have some imbalances going on there, and all of a sudden there's a stigma to it. So
Right. Now, I'm glad we're all, none of us are spring chickens. We lived in a time where a mental illness or a mental deficiency was a stigma. And I'm not saying it isn't anymore. I'm very grateful that more people understand that getting help is actually just getting help. And it's not a sign of weakness or that you're less of a human being than somebody else who can't do that in that space. So I love that it's not as much of a stigma, but like everything in I think our universe, that we get better. We just don't get better at a fast enough velocity, right? We should be far past this. It should be incredibly normal that people have therapy and that people have the ability or access to psychiatric or psychotic drugs in this space.
I don't know how it is for, and maybe Chicago might be different than Indiana this way. And so we can all chime in, but I know that it probably depends on the area that you're from too, because I think it's still stigmatized a lot where I'm at, and I'm just Northwest Indiana, but we're blue collar, like, I don't know, there's almost like a just you work through everything attitude.
Right.
You don't, because what good is it going to do you to that's what most people will say. Well, I don't need to go sit somewhere and talk to some stranger about my problems.
You just need to take a walk. I will tell you this, for every person that you find that may have unalived themselves, somewhere down the line leading to that event were well-meaning, well-intentioned people that tell them, you know what you really need? Some activity. You need to go take a walk. That person has had someone tell them that, and so it's like she had said, there are some situations that do require a little push for you to help yourself. And there's other types of situations that are physiological responses that are beyond the control of will or willpower. And those individuals are trying very hard and they're using their willpower, but those neural connections and all those things are just not working out the way it might do for someone else, right? So also, it's important to understand the difference between science and pseudoscience. And Wendy, this is exactly what you were just saying. You have to recognize pseudoscience,
which is,
and the only way to do that is look for advice to people who are experts and know the difference,
That's very good. Yeah, that's
100%.
Yeah, and we may encounter individuals in front of the org too that have some mental health issues going on, and we have.
We most likely have, right? I mean, if we think about it, a red shoe guy, hot dog guy, those are people that they're both homeless and they are probably struggling with some kind of mental health issues in that situation. And as Kat said earlier, that blue collar mentality, or the Indiana, the breadbasket Rust Belt type people, men don't. I was a kid, rub some dirt on it, right? That we weren't. I was a male. Men don't cry, right? Was really the way that it showed up when I was younger, and now it's gotten to the point of, well, why can't men be in touch with their emotions and things of that nature? And as I was, hopefully you were getting the story earlier that I think we're better than we were 50 years ago, but we need to get 50 years ahead much faster than 50 years. Right?
Right.
Well, and Wendy, I grew up with
disservice.
older brothers, so that whole rub the dirt in it, that's me my whole life anyway. So it's like you are, but I'm more accepting of that you need mental health help. Clearly, I studied that field, and because of wanting to understand, more just some of the dynamics in my own family, but it can happen with girls too, because it's very confusing to know, because you're going to end up having to work. You're not going to get this traditional, I don't know. It's just really hard to be raised with, these are the things that girls typically do, but then boys, I think the message can get mixed with mental health for boys and girls.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's conditioning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Am I the only one that thinks that DOA's pants are falling down? Why does he need a belt to put a belt on?
What now?
He
Do I need
does
to look
show
at the
crack
chat?
a
What
lot.
Plumber's crack.
He could be our own plumber.
No.
I can
I
send
love
you
the plumber's crack.
suspenders. I have suspenders. When we were
No.
going through some stuff at my grandparents' house, I found my grandpa's suspenders. So, I can
Nice.
send him my grandpa's suspenders. They're pretty cool.
I think we have some, if my son still has them from the Halloween that in college, they're beer suspenders, beer mugs on them. Papa would love them.
Yes. Well, I came from the school of belts and suspender at some point in time.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
As long as you didn't come from the belt.
They'll still
Yes.
work.
I mean, I
Well,
didn't.
those things are generational. It's true, right? You keep going back to the generation, and they had a different way of dealing. You take the generation that was little kids during the Depression and then went to rationing in World War II, and they're going to tell you, I'll give you something to cry about, when they have a whole household of or family of kids in that boomer generation. It's like, we're not stopping. There's no time for this. So
I am one of 8 kids, and I heard I'll give you something to cry about a lot.
yeah. Juanita tiene la chancla.
Mhm. That's
Yeah.
right. Yep.
Yeah, I think we all grew up in the time of corporal punishment.
Yeah.
And
Really?
well,
There was
also
a
we grew up in
paddle
capital.
hanging in my kitchen. A paddle.
You were
It
too
was wood.
good. You didn't get punished.
Now, I was the most troublesome kid. And in my neighborhood
No
and in many
way.
people's neighborhoods, anybody's parent had permission to invoke corporal punishment.
Right.
But
Yep.
you did something wrong.
Exactly.
All of the parents had the same understanding of what was right and wrong. And, no parent ever got in trouble for correcting
Exactly.
another.
Corporal correction.
The minute they see
Yeah.
you, it's like, I'm calling your mother.
Yeah.
It was your
So,
village.
okay. I got to tell. Okay. So I'm going to tell on myself. And then, okay. So.
I can't wait.
Okay. And okay, now mind you, I think I was like, I'd have to ask my friend because we're still friends. We've been friends since, I don't know, for our whole lives. But we were in this phase where, and we all went through this, when your friends tell you to do something, you do it. So
Like jump off a bridge.
Exactly. So these new people, so my friend lived next door to my grandparents. I was always at my grandparents' house, and my friend said, hey, I dare you to moon the new people across the street. So I was like, okay. So I did. And the lady comes running out, just like screaming at me, and she asked me what my name was. So I told her, and me being me, I said, and then we kept going with it. And she goes, well, does your mother know you're running around town with your pants pulled down? I said, no. Does your mother know I'm running around town with my pants pulled down?
Ooh, you little snot.
And then she was like, well, I'm going to tell your mom, because she asked for my phone number. So I told her. I knew my mom wasn't home, but I still went and told my mom. I knew where my mom was at. So I went and told my mom. And first, she gave me that look, and then she was like, you can't do that. Like, of all things, like, not the neighbors, and to this day, I don't know if my grandparents ever knew, and I never did ask them before they passed away if the neighbor came over. But the best thing is the neighbor still lives across the street. And every time I go to my grandparents' house, I'm like, I want to knock on her door. And because, like, for the longest time, she hated me. I mean, I would come down the street and it was awesome. And I want to knock on her door and say, hey, do you remember me? I'm the mooner.
No, I would say just moon her and say, do you remember this?
Exactly.
Does this look familiar?
It's a small town, and I know the cops in the town. So, I could probably get away with it. But
Every month on the full moon, you should bake her like a little something nice, and then come over to her door and go, here, I'm very sorry.
Here you go, trick or treat.
Here.
Let me knock on your door. Come and knock on your door.
The full moon. Here's something for you.
And
But no,
now
I
you guys
went through a
know why I
phase.
picked the glittery butts for the thumbnail for that one Battle Creek when Dip and I went out, because she told me her mooning story that day.
I mean, I went
And
through
so-
a phase from like I think 13 to 16 maybe, where like anytime we all dared each other to like that was usually the first thing was, okay, guess what?
Mooning was kind of the thing to do.
I got mooned once
It
a long
was
time
funny.
ago. We're young and single and all that kind of stuff. And it worked at a place, and we worked a night, evening shift. And so one thing about the boss was really nice. Shortly before we're finishing up our work for closing, he would send some of the young guys, very young men or young boys or whatever you want to say, out to start up all the ladies' cars and brush off all the snow, like really bad winters where now it's late at night, but you have to go out and drive home, right? And it's that much colder and that much snowier, right? So we thought that was really nice. So one of those nights, my friend and I, we got to get in our car to go in. We thought, oh, this is so nice because they sent the guys out to warm the cars up and start them and brush off all the snow. And the windshield is just being wiped like this. And all of a sudden we see the ham pressed up against the window with all the frost and snow.
Yep.
And then he ran away.
I don't get it. The
Can
ham?
you imagine in the freezing cold like that?
I don't
Yeah.
get-
So I did get mooned in my windshield once.
Oh, the ham. Oh.
There we
Yeah,
go.
I can never forget it.
Oh, God.
Oh, I thought you said the Moonies. Not the
Well,
Moonies.
and whenever I was
No,
a kid
no.
too,
One of the guys,
Yeah.
obviously, as he moved the snow, he got a big moon on the windshield. So
Yeah, that's cold. Oh, so
And you know where you only have that little circle that you've scraped away that's defrosted enough that you can see out.
Peekaboo.
Listen,
Yeah.
my last mooning was as an adult, and it was of my sister, and it was in a car.
all right, no
So we're
mooning
driving
Scientology,
past her on
you
the
guys.
highway going home with our
No.
No, now you're gonna get some
going home
trouble,
from the
right?
water
Yeah.
park, and I was laughing so hard I don't know how I did it, but yeah, right at the window, driving down the highway.
Well,
All right,
on a
folks.
totally
Mooning on the
different
go.
note,
Well, I think we've gotten off topic. Yeah.
on a totally different note, these cabbages
Oh my
fresh for
gosh,
New
that's
Year's Eve.
adorable!
Very nice.
Festive.
Look how
Miss
cute
Karen.
that was. Was that a flamingo on its head?
What now?
Was that a flamingo?
It is.
Oh,
Mhm.
It is. In case I get invited to a royal wedding, I have the fascinator. I have the
Ooh.
flamingo fascinator.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
So you're ready for your royal wedding.
You know they're sticky about that. You want the fascinator.
So now we
Nice.
just need a royal wedding.
Yeah.
We'll make our own.
Yes.
Well,
A reenactment.
we need to know a little bit more about whether the Chicago Org is thinking of having any kind of activity of their own for the first anniversary,
Yeah,
Mhm.
which might inspire us to greater levels
I think it will.
of creativity. I
It'd
don't
be
know.
great to see some of the same people from last year back.
Oh, I
because
love that.
I guess I'd have to say I thought there were going to be more people out there as the months went by, but it just like there weren't new. There's some that came a couple times, which is great. But based on what I saw at that opening event, I kind of expected people to recur back, but only a smaller number did. So it would just be great if some more people would come out, even just to visit with us while we're out there. You don't have to even turn on your camera. You can just hold your phone and they think you're right, Wendy.
If we could get another Wendy out there who is,
There is no
kind
other
of
Wendy.
kind of local, and like how Juanita
Yes.
passes by the org
Yep.
on the way to work or on the way home from work sometimes. Another We need another Juanita and Paul
Here,
out
here.
there.
And Nana's going to be stopping by too, right? I think.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
you can live stream now.
Now that you had your second live stream, Nana.
Mhm.
Yeah,
She's
they were
Do
becoming
you
both
a pro.
think Chucky will
good
be?
live streams.
Do you think
Uh,
Chucky will be on the next anniversary?
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll see him again. No, Chadwick. She calls
I
him
don't. Yeah.
Chadwick.
He
I think we.
evaporate.
Yeah, I think we've seen the last of Chadwick. And
Yeah, we won't see him again.
yeah, DOA is straight on there, right? It is this idea that it's we need to get somehow between all of us, we need to show that it's not that challenging to come out there and just be a demonstrator, be a protester in these situations. And yeah, we need to get the head count. That don't be afraid. I'm going to speak for myself, but I know that I can. I'm saying this for at least 3 other people on this panel. We are all 1,000 times better than the first day we came out, and we all had no idea what we were doing the first time we came out.
Right.
I just want to stand up and be counted was basically my thought of, okay, let me see what happens here. And I will say that the first I met Korn the first day I was out there. Shannon was out there, and I remember I kept on getting. I was being prodded to go inside, and I was prodded to say it's a cult and yell it's a cult, and I did that, but that wasn't my style, and I eventually found what I was much more comfortable with. And I'll just say, all of you, or any of you who are watching, if you're in Chicago, if you're near any organization, you really just have to show up and don't worry. You'll fall into what your patter is.
Right.
Exactly.
Kind of like Hitzel.
Yeah.
Hitzel's very good with that.
Yep.
Well, and how can we know what we're
And
going to
Miss
do
Kim,
until we
too.
do it? Like you
Enrica.
said, if we hadn't, some people who had
Brain
joined us
fog.
had protested before, but for the most part, this is brand new, and we were just trying to help elevate, the attention to Chicago.
Mhm.
Well, and I will say, I honestly think they thought that nobody would continue to keep coming, but in some way, shape, or form, even if it's not every day, there's still people out there, like when we come.
Yeah.
I don't think they've ever gone a week. I don't think that we've gone a week without somebody being there.
No, I don't think so.
No.
That's great.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
And I don't think they expected that.
Right.
Right. Right. They didn't expect like the lunacy of. No, just kidding. I mean, you have to have a little bit of a different perspective on life to do this and continue.
Well, and
doing
especially, I can get why they think we're paid because, we do, a few of us especially.
Why would we? Yeah.
And even if you're in Chicago, it takes a while to ride the L anywhere. And you do have all the different stops, and Juanita takes a train and a bus and then has to walk a couple blocks. So we all have the travel time, but I don't know, it can be rewarding in other ways that it doesn't have to be all about money. So I get the people who say, well, you must be getting paid somehow, but I don't know. That's like saying that, would that really be enough to motivate somebody to come from out of state? Once
could just get
once every couple weeks or so?
Good point.
But is it?
What?
But,
I
hey,
got paid. Look, I got paid.
nice.
I got paid. You just came this morning.
Nice.
Chucky said that. I mean, Spiky Boy said that this morning, so I could get away.
Nice.
That's like money, guys. That's no money. That's like money. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Nice job.
But yeah, so I get it. And it does cost money to go. But honestly, because we make something fun out of it each time, and I love riding the train, always have. The fact that it's just an easy train ride for me, how excited I get just from visiting in Chicago. I love that. And so protesting is part of that trip. And it is the main reason I'm going. But we don't make it all about that.
Right. And
for us, it's only $10 each way to ride the train.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe some people would think like $20 is a lot, but I mean, for us, it's $10 each way to ride the train. So,
And now it's to ride with a friend, and like I get to hang out. We kind of ditch rural Indiana and go to the city for the day and have a blast. So, yeah, that's a reward itself.
Yeah, and many times you've gone through the park, and I've seen the pictures of you going through the half-legged men, and
I love it.
take in the city. So spend a couple of hours taking in museums, taking in the shopping, taking in
We want to go to the museums. Yeah.
window dressing and all of that.
Yep.
And then you know what? Spend an hour here. And one of the things that I think is enjoyable is spend an hour in front of the org, then go do something and come back, and you'll find out that they all let their guard down, and all of a sudden it's like, oh shit.
We have done that, right, Con? We have done that.
Yeah.
And it's amazing.
Guessing.
I love it.
Yep. That's why we like to go for the whole day, because we will go out for a few hours, stop and get hungry, go and sit down somewhere, warm up like we did last time. Potbellies is great. They had great soup.
Mhm.
So
that
Juanita
place
and I
we
had
went
our,
when we went to the zoo.
yes.
You
Oh
guys-
gosh, the lights, they were so pretty, and the way that they had the musical display that was going with the Christmas music was really cool.
To
Absolutely.
do up flyers for the locals to encourage them out the door.
Yeah, we can always do mailers, so it's always legal, but mailers cost money. I've shared my business cards, or the file for my business cards. There's all kind. If you have a question of, boy, if I had this, I'd come out, let me know. I'm more than happy to hook you up in regards to what's going on there.
But also keep in mind, like, I've been using an iPhone 11 for like 8 months. I just now got a new phone for Christmas. So,
That's right. That's the way it is.
I'm the laziest YouTube creator ever. I just go out, stream, and then leave it for y'all to look at. I might make a clip here and there, but I can't. I'm not a good. I don't have the time. And honestly, it's not about me. It's just about the documenting. This stuff is fun. Right here, we'll do a little, side stuff.
But you guys have fun when
brainstorming.
you're right in front of the org.
Yeah, we do.
I know it's not really a topic, but we all had to go to jail one night, and the idea that we showed how much fun everybody was having there.
Oh my gosh.
One of the things that Scientology has to be like, what are those people thinking when you guys are out there in front of the org, just giggling and chuckling and having such a joyful time? And to DOA's point, that's folks, it is fun. This isn't. I'm probably the most serious, and I don't mean that I'm more serious. I look more serious most of the time, or I don't. I have a more serious face on. But the idea, you don't come out there and do that, and don't think that this is a job. It's something that you're doing, that it's good for the community. And if you're going to have a good time doing something good for the community, that's just extra. The cherry on top, right?
Exactly. I have had, and without any further ado, more than enough suffering in my life. That's it. I'm full now. You can stop.
Right.
I've had enough. I want to laugh. I want to enjoy myself.
Yes.
I want to bring laughter to other people as a way of engagement, because you know what? It's healing.
It feels amazing
healing
to get
for
a
me.
good laugh.
And if I only amuse myself and no one else, and no one ever looks, I amuse myself. Do you know what I mean? And if you can engage or amuse someone else, or, up their happiness quotient even by a scotch, in that day, that's a healing thing. And if you can show Scientology exactly what you've all just said, if you can show Scientology, it's like, you don't have to suffer.
No.
You can be happy in this life, or you can suffer in this life, but either way, both take the exact same amount of energy and time.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I don't think they expect us when we go out there to be as silly and laugh and have as much fun as we do. They just don't.
Yeah, Jay and I were called knuckleheads.
I
Yep.
mean, and we didn't expect it either.
Ooh,
Like,
knuckleheads. That was some rough work there.
Ooh, a
I've been
knucklehead.
called a lot worse than a knucklehead. But yeah, the things that we found that we have in common and the way that we value each other's differences too, because we each bring something different. And I love what you just said, Style, about how, and I think other people feel that same way. The suffering's enough, and you want to be part of something that feels good, that can make you feel good about what you're doing. So,
Well,
yeah.
also, oh, go ahead, Cor.
No, I'm done.
Just, their lives have to be very dreary. So I just try
Yeah.
to keep levity, and just kindness and niceness when I talk to them, and just kind of joke around like, hey, like when a lot of us have asked, you want to go get something to eat, not
Yeah.
that they will, but who knows? Maybe someday they drop everything and go. You just don't know when that could happen. That's how sometimes people leave
You
cults.
can
But
communicate your life condition to another person.
Mhm.
Yep.
There's truth to that. You can.
mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're in a good life condition at the moment, and you can communicate that and share that and give that to somebody else. It's true.
Well, and what if the only effect we ever had was, what on earth makes these people come back here and ride on our sidewalk all the time? Like, and wearing inflatables and doing stupid, funny stuff. And so if that makes them wonder, like, if we would have showed up once and never came back, or just a couple times, that'd be different. But we keep coming back and writing similar messages, saying similar things. So we're not changing our minds. We're still trying at it. So maybe outside of thinking that we're getting paid, if they think beyond that and think, well, why do they all keep coming here? Because this is a weird group to pick to come together if somebody was going to put together a group.
We did not fight. No.
This is about as organic as it gets. So
Yeah.
anyway, who we missing? We want to pop Nana back in?
Tell you,
Yeah, I can
it's
take
getting
it.
actually. Let me drop out for a bit, and I've enjoyed all this. I'm gonna come back. We're gonna do this again.
Yeah.
I need to. I got a
Sure.
big run in the morning, so I need to give myself a little bit of a nap.
Thanks for coming
Oh
in.
yeah, you're gonna have a good
Hi,
night.
Wendy. Thank
Well,
you for coming.
Yeah,
Thank you
thanks
all.
for coming in.
This
We
would be a
always
great
miss you
way.
if we don't see you.
Everybody
I
who's
wish I
watching,
ran all
make
this.
sure
I
you're
used to
subscribing to all
run.
these channels.
Well, we'll be able to see Wendy easily now with
Yes,
this.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Have a good night,
All right,
Wendy.
take care, Wendy.
Good night.
Good night, all.
Wendy.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
May I ask if Twyla is still in the chat with us? Anybody? Can they
I think
tell?
I might have met Twyla that day at the opening too. I don't remember. I think I met somebody with it. Let me see. I don't see.
No, it's mainly me.
Oh,
It's
There
mainly
were
me.
special shoes for Twyla because she admired these in the thrift store.
okay.
Like thrift and
Well, if
vintage,
you
everything.
Tell her
I
what
just,
you wanted to say, and then maybe she
we'll clip it for Twyla. How can I
Oh,
do
Twyla's
this?
there. Twyla's there.
Okay, Twyla, I wore your shoes for you just in case you were around.
Aw.
Ooh.
Can they be seen?
Yes.
Oh.
Ooh, nice.
Ooh.
It's the shoes.
Shake a leg.
Yeah.
Ooh la
Not
la.
real attractive on the, sticking the leg out, but
Good thing Wendy left.
I do have a wall of shoes. Here, see my shoe. I do have a wall of shoes,
Susie
though.
dips
Like, you
out.
see it?
Everybody starts getting naughty.
That's my wall of shoes.
Okay.
So the women have more fun.
Yeah, and you can rotate me out too if you want.
It's just the 6 of us now, so.
I think it's hilarious because I think that Wendy has done a pretty good job hanging out with the ladies
He
The ladies.
He
Yep.
did.
he definitely held his
on
own.
the street and everything. So yeah, he's really helpful.
Oh gosh.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, you saw the shoes. You remember them from the post when I was styling those 2 young guys in the thrift store. Sometimes I do a thing where I style people in the thrift store.
I love thrift.
What does that
stores
mean?
Or
Oh, you help
antique
them-
shops.
Well, some people are browsing or spending time in there and they're chatting about or looking for something. And I go, hey, So it's the same as my style challenge. At home, my style challenge is you have 10 minutes. You can go through all your boxes or bins or closets and get something.
I
Right.
don't have so
And
many
that's the
clothes.
challenge. It's like, well, you put together your little pieces and you came up with the best you could come up with, right? That's your style
Yeah.
challenge. But in the thrift store, I do that too. It's like 10 minutes. Tell me everything I need to know about your taste, and pick them out.
Man, I need your help.
Outfits in the thrift store and everything is like, here, how do you like that? And
That's
I make
okay.
people buy this stuff.
I'm thinking there's like a ladies' night with makeovers in our future
Okay, that
here
sounds-
because
yeah.
we have a
Or-
stylist, and I need help because I'm not a girly girl. I wear jeans and t-shirts.
Well, then
all
that's your style. So I'd get you something.
No, we should go to a thrift store with her.
Ooh.
Yes.
And then
Oh,
she
yeah,
can
that's
do the
a
10-minute
good
thing
idea.
for each of
And then we
us.
can style each other.
Listen, I'm up for that.
You got
I
it.
would
We
do
That could
that.
be
can't
so
style you.
funny. That would be fun.
That
And
would
you
be
know
Then we can have
what?
a
When I
photo
need to
shoot
buy
after.
you, there's some really good places in the city. I mean,
Yes,
there's some
there is.
places in
That's
Logan
a good one.
Square and
Oh,
a lot
yeah.
of places.
I like
Yeah.
that.
Okay,
We
so
can
now
talk-
we know what your
But you-
role will be. You are the stylist, and you're
Yeah.
going to take us to places in Chicago because I wouldn't know. And then we can get pictures of all the way that we style each other.
Yes.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
You
And
could
the
just fair game for someone
live.
to style the other person.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
you guys,
that would be
Peter
funny.
had a question
Okay.
about We Come Back.
Rhiannon.
All right. Someone wants to see that.
Yeah, We Come
Peter?
Back,
We Come
isn't
Back.
that about reincarnation?
Oh,
We Come Back. I think it's referring to their
Yeah.
belief in
Oh, yeah.
reincarnation, Peter.
yeah. I
Um,
could be thinking about a message that I could write about that. I could write something about the billion-year contract and that they believe. I mean, that's depressing to think of coming back and doing the same thing for 1,000,000,000 years. And you're supposed to be able to pick up where you left off on your training, but yet at what age? Like, is a little kid supposed to say, well, that was me in my other life. Can I have my file where I'm confused by that whole thing.
For
Like,
it's gonna
has
be
anybody ever
fun.
really claimed to be a past life and succeeded?
Well, did you hear that guy
For it's
talk?
gonna be fun because we have fun doing protesting. So
Yeah.
they're the one who screw.
What's that, Hallie?
Val was saying
Oh,
something.
that was me. Did you hear the guy talking to DOA today? He was saying instead of calling them children, he was calling them
I
beings.
cannot hear.
Yes.
Yes.
They're
Calling them what?
beings. They're not children, they're beings. So they've been here before.
That is disgusting.
Whole reincarnation thing.
He was actually saying it. I couldn't
Yeah,
believe it.
gross.
Like, dude, you know you're on camera, right?
Right? No, yeah, I mean, and I
They
think
don't
that
see
we're
anything
gonna
wrong with
start
what they're
seeing-
saying.
I think we're going to see that in Chicago too. Like Wendy and I saw. I think that they're at the confront stage of their confront and shatter.
Well, we are beings.
Yes,
We're human beings.
We are, but we're also
but not children's. We
And
don't.
any life
And for
form
him to
or
say that
anything,
a 12-year-old
even
12-year-old is
insentient
digging a
life
trench.
forms, they're beings, I guess.
Yeah, but you don't call a child a being, right?
No.
They're a child.
I mean, they're a being, like she says, but they're saying that they're not a human child, that their bodies don't matter. And that's where they,
No.
right there, that's the whole problem with the,
If they train
Yeah,
a
he's
child and raise a child to believe it's a slave, gee, what do you get? A slave.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, he didn't think there was a problem with the 12-year-old, child labor. Like, no matter how DOA worded it, it just, oh yeah, I did this when I was a kid. Like all those hard knock stories, dude. That's called survival. That's not good parenting. It's not that, like you made the best of it, but that wasn't what was best for you. If that was your childhood to have to be digging a trench at 12 years old, yes, you were capable, and I'm sure it did give you, it's capable of giving you some resiliency. But at what cost? So no, thank you. Kids should be
Oh,
kids.
that was-
And that's when he said, no, they're just beings, they're
Yeah.
beings. He wouldn't call them children.
Well,
Yeah.
and then when he said, like, you're going to get in trouble for this, and the guy was like, oh, no, I'm not.
No,
Oh,
because
I know.
out
You're gonna
there.
get sec checked.
Hey, did you guys see my pajamas?
Oh, fancy pajamas.
Nice.
Oh,
Polar bears on it.
Nice.
And I got
Wow,
my
okay.
goldenrod on.
All right, everybody is winning tonight. We are knocking out of the park.
Corn.
Oh wait,
Easter's coming
pretty
early.
goofy.
okay, we're in this, huh? Oh, we're in this.
All right.
Okay,
I
here we-
might be getting ready to go.
Totally normal.
Oh, look what we got right there.
Totally normal.
My idol, my style idol.
the giraffe.
Yeah, we're totally normal.
We're so normal.
Very normal.
The adulting is now over.
I'm over adulting.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna
So-
need to step out pretty soon here.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm kind of a little tired tonight, so I might
we're good.
go. Yeah.
I've
All
never
right,
slept
we
so
gotta
much,
figure
but
out our
I'm sleeping all
style
the time.
activity. Yeah, when we can all be in the location, and we'll pick the
Yeah.
place and we'll go.
We'll pick the
That will
place.
be
We'll figure it out.
fun.
We'll have fun.
And then we'll have new outfits.
Yeah.
Digging.
There you go.
I
I'm
think
looking
Juanita
forward for
knows
that.
I've been admiring her hats. She's just had good hats. Every time that I'm like coveting, I'm envious. It's like, oh,
Okay, girls. Thanks.
So
Bye.
it's been fun.
Can we
I am woman, hear me strong.
and
And
before we leave, justice for Josiah, please.
yes, I wanted to
Yeah,
say
no.
that.
And
Yeah.
please.
Yep, I'm
If
gonna repost that.
That way, if
Right.
anybody feels like they were able to help, or even just give him some watch hours on his channel, give him,
Yeah,
you know,
whatever.
But
Yep. Love.
he's been fighting for a long time.
Yep. He got kicked to the curb. Not fair.
No. So we don't want to forget him.
Nope,
No.
not at all.
All right, keep up the good fight.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Good night,
for
everybody.
joining
Thanks
us.
for coming in, all you
Good night,
chatters. Sorry if I couldn't
Oh,
see
good
everyone.
night.
But we'll see you
Oh,
later.
Thank you.
Josiah's
Thank you
Bye.
channel. Okay, I got it now.
I am the
All
head of
right.
a large.
Bye, Miss Cabbage. Bye. Thanks
Oh.
for coming in, Style.
Bye.
Yeah, thank you so
Bye.
much.
Seeing you.
Wendy.
Good night, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Good night, everybody.
All right, good night. How do we get out of here? No.
You just go out.
Okay.
Peace out.
You know, we're